As we continue our process of going through the steps to produce a structural model, we're going to start with how to build a theoretical model that could eventually turn into a structural econometric model. And for this, I wanted to start with something very basic, something that probably most students have seen in an introductory econometrics course, and that is estimating the returns to schooling using a log wage regression. Here is what we refer to as the Mincer earnings function. We're regressing log wages on years of completed schooling and work experience, and the I subscripts are referring to people in our sample. It's a row of data. S is defined as years of completed schooling, where S would be 12 if you have a high school diploma in the US, 16 if you have a college diploma in the US. And then X is potential work experience, which is defined as age minus S minus 6. And the key parameter that we're interested in for policy purposes is beta 1. So we want to know if you change your level of schooling by 1, what's that going to translate to in terms of your future earnings. And the way we would interpret this is 100 times beta 1 would approximately be the percentage change in your wages on average across the whole population. So now let's talk about how we can add some more structure to this equation. The key identifying assumption is that our epsilon is conditionally independent of the covariates in the equation. That's S, X, and X squared. And if we don't have this condition hold, then we can't really interpret beta 1 as a return. It's more just a wage premium, which does not really, that's more of a descriptive object than an econometric object or a structural object. So just thinking through how we know what we know about the world, we have at least two problematic components to epsilon. So one is that we don't have anything about individual skills or abilities. There's nothing about an individual's comparative advantage or family background. We don't know anything about their ability to pay for schooling, for example, or what their ambitions are in life, or how motivated they are, or how well they can delay gratification. And then another box of problematic components as it relates to epsilon is downstream choices. So in this case, maybe everybody who goes to school chooses a particular occupation. That occupation pays better for reasons unrelated to schooling. And so that's going to introduce a correlation between epsilon and S and W. And then that's going to break the policy connection between S and earnings, because it's actually the case that S just leads to some occupation that leads to earnings. So this is where we get into mechanisms as we're building our theoretical model. In what ways does S increase earnings? Is it a direct effect? Is it an indirect effect? Another thing we might be worried about is that schooling has an upfront cost and a long-run benefit. So you pay all the costs up front, either in terms of opportunity costs on your time or in terms of actual tuition payments to an institution. And so that upfront cost, long-run benefit might be better characterized by a dynamic model as opposed to a static model like we have here. So we could set up a dynamic model where in the first period, people are choosing the amount of schooling to get. And then in the second period, they're choosing whether or not they want to work based on how much schooling they've attained. And they're going to get paid if they work according to the Mincer earnings function on the very first slide. And then people are choosing their schooling level to maximize some lifetime utility function, not just do I have a higher ability in subjects that schooling is going to be related to. So hopefully that makes sense. In the next video, we're going to go further with this dynamic model idea, but I wanted to cut this off right here just to make sure that we keep things interesting. So thanks for joining, and I hope to see you in the next one.